This novel has only one reader, but the author continued to update it for 10 years. But on the day the novel ended, the world of the novel became a reality. Brutal ghosts and escalating escape games officially attacked people. As the only reader of this novel, I was the only one who knew how the world would end. At that moment, a train suddenly came to an emergency stop, and then, an urgent announcement came from the entire train. All passengers are urged to evacuate immediately. All passengers are urged to evacuate immediately. While the passengers were wondering what was happening, suddenly a bolt of lightning exploded throughout the train. A furry monster appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Gentlemen, you've been living comfortably, haven't you? And now the battle royale game begins. But many passengers didn't take his words seriously. They yelled at him to get the hell out of there. But the next moment, a few of the passengers who were talking exploded. In an instant, the whole carriage was in a state of panic, screaming and screaming. At this point, a slightly daring man with glasses approached. As long as you can let me go, I'll give you any amount of money you want. Just when he was proud of the hard truth that money makes the devil go away, the monster suddenly snapped his fingers. The next second, the $10 billion check in the glasses man's hand instantly burst into flames. This waste paper have no value in the macrodimensional world. If you dare to do such a thing again, I'll blow your head off. Then the monster suddenly laughed maniacally. Okay, no more nonsense. Enjoy this game feast. As soon as he spoke, a quest panel suddenly appeared in front of everyone. We've received the main quest. Please kill a life form within 30 minutes. Otherwise, you will be executed. Immediately after that, the monster let out an evil laugh and disappeared before everyone's eyes. This game of human nature has officially begun. As time passes by, some called the police for help. Some prayed and hoped it was a dream. Others tried to break the subway window to escape. I know it's all in vain. As soon as the time was up, no one will survive. Because I know, this is a live broadcast for the entire universe. And the content of the broadcast is the novel I've been following for 2.5 years. As the only reader of this novel, I'm the only one who knows the end of this world. But what I don't understand is, Lee Hyun-sung, one of the main supporting characters in the novel, appeared early. You know, he's a character that appears after the first main quest. After the first main quest. Could it be that I remembered it wrong? So I took out my cell phone to check the contents of the novel. But I realized that the novel had already been taken off the shelves. Luckily, as the only fan of the novel, the author sent me the original novel by email. What's even more shocking, the original novel has more than 3,000 chapters. I finished it in less than 2.5 minutes. And I finally realized, why did Lee Hyun-sung appear earlier? Because the story in the novel takes place in car 3707. I was in car 3708. And there are only 2 people who can survive in this compartment. One is Lieutenant Lee Hyun-sung, and the other one is that pervert. As time passes, the human's indifference caused the monster's rage. And then he directly put a stop to the game. The original 20 minutes of game time to 10 minutes. And if the first murder does not occur within 5 minutes, then everyone will die where they are. The moment this statement was made, opened a Pandora's box in people's hearts. A white-haired man slapped his pocket. He slapped an old man in the face. This man is the second survivor of this session. Survivor Kim Namyoon. As long as one person takes the lead. As long as one person takes the lead, more people will join. After all, no one wants to live. And I watched in silence. It's not that I'm as inhuman as they are. But I was waiting for the right moment. And that's when it happened. There was a sudden and violent collision. When I saw it, I seized the opportunity to rush into the crowd. I knocked Kim Namyoon out of the car. Then I looked around in the smoke. I finally found the boy in the crowd. I took the insect case from the boy's body. I took the insect case from his body. I took one out and put it in his hand. Then I turned around and shouted for everyone to stop. After killing the old man, who are you going to kill? In the end, we'll all have to kill each other. Hearing this, Jin Nan Yunming laughed and said, I'll just kill a coward like you next. I didn't pay any attention to him. I continued to say to the crowd, we don't need to be so desperate. I have a way to keep everyone alive. Have you forgotten the conditions of the mission? All you have to do is kill one life form. Then I pulled out a grasshopper from my insect box. So who says you have to kill to complete the mission? That's what I'm saying. The people understood what I was saying. And I, who had the insect case, became a target. At this moment, all of them seemed to be evil spirits from the depths of hell. They came at me. Seeing this situation, I hurriedly crushed the bugs in my hand. Then I threw the insect case towards the crowd. At the same time, I also completed my mission, and was rewarded with 100 gold coins. At this moment, the carriage was in chaos. Everyone was looking for bugs like crazy. But Kim Namyoon didn't care. On the contrary, he laughed maniacally. If you don't hand over the bugs, instead you threw them out. Honestly, do you like it too? seeing this chaotic scene. At that moment, Kim Namyoon's person, Kim Namun's information suddenly appeared in front of my eyes. It's just like what I read in the novel. He's a middle-aged boy with delusions of grandeur. Then Kim Namyoon invited me to join his team, to enjoy this killing feast with him. If I hadn't read the novel, I would have said yes to him in order to survive. But now I have my own path to follow. So I said I preferred to be alone. When I refused, Kim Namyoon didn't get mad. Then he went around me. He was going to continue to kill the old man on the ground. I pulled him back. But my action made him angry. I thought you were the same kind of person as me. Then I realized you're the kind of person I hate the most. Then he threw a punch at me. I raised my arm to defend myself. This guy actually activated his blackening skill. And Kim Namun seems to have sensed the change in his body. Then he attacked me even more frantically. Just in the nick of time, the system panel suddenly popped up. You have met the conditions to use the exclusive skill. Absolute Domain. Seeing this situation, I didn't hesitate for a second. I directly activated my exclusive skill. Every time Kim Namyoon attacks, I will be able to predict it in advance. So he hit me for 2.5 minutes. But he didn't even touch me. Seeing that the mission time was about to end, Kim Namyoon had to continue to target. On the old man behind me, I rushed to protect the old man. I had to stop this sociopathic maniac. To complete the mission. But he pulled out a dagger. And the target was my heart. Even though I knew it was coming, I was cut in the shoulder. Due to the loss of blood, I'm already losing strength. If I continue like this, sooner or later, I'll be beaten by this madman. Now I can only fight to the death. Then I crushed the eggs in my hand. If I'm right, I was right. The next second, a flood of reward messages rang out. And at that moment, Jin Nanyun wielded his dagger. He came in front of me. In the nick of time, I hurriedly spent all the reward coins. I used them to strengthen my physical fitness. With a system alert, my body strength has increased like never before. And Jin Nanyun's dagger was just in front of my chest. But the next second, he realized, the dagger couldn't penetrate my body at all. Seeing this situation, he didn't believe it. Frantically stabbed my chest for 68 times. But despite this, he still couldn't hurt me. I said in a cold voice, do you think you've really adapted to the rules of this world? As soon as I said that, the final countdown of the mission appeared in front of everyone. Kim Namwoo with fear and reluctance. He blew up in front of me. The first stage of the main quest. The first phase of the main quest officially ended at this moment. There are only 5 survivors left in compartment 3708. Lieutenant Lee Hyun-sung and co-worker Yu Sang-ah. Lee Jeong the insect boy. Han Myung-moo the eyeglasses man. And me, the only one who knows the end of the world. At that moment, the train began to start slowly. Just when everyone thought they could finally go home. But the world outside had already been destroyed by monsters. I was the only one who knew that the old world had ended. A new world was being born. Suddenly there was a flash of gold. The furry creature reappeared in the car. He was slightly surprised by the number of survivors left. He didn't think there'd be so many left. If you can overcome your hardships, you'll get the rewards you deserve. Next up, you'll be able to receive sponsorship from the Constellation adults. You're looking forward to it, right? Constellations are the most mysterious existence in the world of fiction. They are also the masterminds behind the distant nebula. The masterminds behind this battle royale broadcast. And I'm looking forward to seeing what constellation will be sponsoring the broadcast. With a snap of the monster's fingers, everyone's quest windows received a new message. Backing star choice. Your chosen sign to be your reliable backer. And my choice made my heart skip a beat. I had 4 constellations willing to back me up. You know what? I mean, that guy only got 5 offers from the constellations. It seems my performance on my first mission. My performance on the first mission attracted a lot of favor from the constellations. Although these constellations won't disclose their real names. But I've been reading the novels. I knew who they really were. The Dark Dragon of the Abyss, leader of a powerful nebula. A ceiling of power in the early stages. But only in the early stages. And the drawbacks are obvious. If you use its energy too often, you'll become mentally contaminated. You'll end up becoming an insane murderer. The demonic judge of fire. This name may seem sinister, but his true identity is judgment. The evil Archangel Uriel. The secretive Ultraman King. That's pretty secretive. As a fan of the novel, I was surprised to see this option for the first time. Shouldn't be a particularly powerful sign. Newly orphaned prisoners see this nickname. My heart jumped straight to the ground. I didn't realize that this constellation would make me an offer at such an early stage. I'm sure you'll be thrilled to learn his name. Cannot help but be excited to learn his name. He is the master of the mountain of flowers and fruits. The fiery-eyed Monkey King. Sun Wukong the Great Sage. If I choose him as my backstar, will I be able to beat that guy across the street? In a while we all chose our own backstars. And that monster threw out the word "see you in 10 minutes. And disappeared. At that moment, Lee Hyun-sung came over and shook my hand. Thank you for the warning. Otherwise we might not have survived. Then he asked me what I thought about the next step. Apparently my performance had gained him some trust. I said that we must get out of here as soon as possible. After hearing my words, they were dumbfounded. There are monsters out there. Going out now is not like lighting a lantern in the toilet. But at that moment, there was a loud bang from the door behind us. Behind that steel door. Behind that door stood the only survivor of Car 3707. And the real protagonist of the original novel. A returnee who would stop at nothing to achieve his goal. Other than me. That guy knows the rules of this world the best. So I told everyone to get out of here. Otherwise we won't be able to wait for the next mission. We'll all be dead. Hearing this, Lee Hyun-sung was puzzled. The people behind that iron door aren't necessarily the enemy, right? I said in a deep voice. He must have killed many people. He's a survivor. Are you sure you want to wait until he comes in? When I heard that, everyone started looking for a way out. But all they could find was a jammed steel door. The sound of kicking in the other compartment became more and more intense. Everyone's heart was in their throat. If he gets in, I'm sure he'd love to. He'd be willing to wipe us out as experience. Then I looked at Lee Hyun-sung. In the original novel, he was a strong meat shield. So I said to him, use your skills. When he heard that, he looked confused. It's not that he didn't understand what I said. It's that he knew he had a skill, but he didn't know how to use it. Quickly told him. I told him that he could use it by thinking it in his mind. He didn't say much. He just started pushing the iron. I didn't expect him to let out a yell. He really opened the door. Seeing this situation, we didn't hesitate. We ran straight to the outside. But before we could take a few steps, the monster that disappeared reappeared. And then they issued us a second quest. We have 20 minutes to pass. Failure to cross the broken bridge. The consequences are unknown. Lu Shangya looked puzzled. This bridge is obviously not broken. I hurriedly told. I warned everyone to run. Since the mission said it would break, then it will definitely break. And so it was. We hadn't run far. A huge whirlpool suddenly appeared on the river. Then a huge sea dragon came out of the water. At the same time, those people who were already dead suddenly turned into zombies. They swarmed towards us, while everyone was in a daze. The sea dragon suddenly bit the bridge with a crunching bite. The next moment the bridge was snapped off. Only Lee Hyun-sung and Lee Gil-yong made it through. Lu Sang-ah, Han Wei-ming and I was left on the other side. While I was thinking about how to cross the bridge, Lu Sang-ah's back heart suddenly activated the shelter. Then the broken bridge was reconnected, forming a light bridge that can only be crossed by an even number of people. But there are 3 of us. That means one of us can't pass. At that moment, the wind of a cold punch came. I hurriedly kicked back to distance myself. If it's an ordinary person turned into a zombie, there is no threat to me. But this guy in front of me is transformed by Kim Nam-yoon. Zombies will become stronger depending on the strength of the host. Not waiting for me to think, Kim Nam-yoon rushed towards me in a single bound. When I saw this, I quickly dodged out of the way. Then I turned my head and told Lu Shangya to go first. But just as I turned my head, I saw eyes carrying him, running towards the opposite side of the bridge. Damn it! At least give me 2 seconds to make a heroic speech. Right at this moment, Kim Nam-yoon suddenly let out a hiss. The next second, countless zombies came at me like an order. After a lot of fighting, I started to lose my strength. And the mission time was less than 15 minutes. If only I had a combat skill, I might have died this time. At that moment, the system suddenly prompted me to trigger an exclusive skill bookmark. Soon a character catalog appeared, in front of my eyes. Although I've read the entire novel, I've never seen this skill before. But I seem to know how to use it intuitively. Then I shouted, activate bookmark number 1. In the next second, I'll gain the blackening skill that Jin Nanyun possesses. It lasts for 1 minute. At the same time, Kim Nam-yoon lunged at me again. I was like a beast in the night. I killed him with a single blow. After the effect of the skill disappeared, I became extremely weak. Facing hundreds of zombies in front of me, I was no longer able to fight. But at that moment, there was a sudden explosion from the back of the horde. A man with an indifferent look, killed out of the corpses with absolute crushing force. The man is the protagonist of the novel. Lu Jong-hyuk, the returnee with countless unique skills. But even though I have the golden finger of God's perspective, I'm in a state of panic. Because what I'm about to face is the protagonist of this novel. A returnee who will stop at nothing to achieve his goals. Although I was prepared for it. But facing such a powerful and oppressive male protagonist, I couldn't help but feel my hair stand on end. Without waiting for me to speak, Lu Jong-hyuk suddenly grabbed me by the neck. Why aren't you dead? Because as a professional player of this battle royale game, Liu Zhonghe has returned to this game for the third time. He knew. The only survivors in Car 3708 were Kim Namyoon and Lee Hyun-sung. But now there's another survivor he doesn't recognize. I said I survived by killing insects. But Yu Jung-hyuk didn't believe me. Yu Chung-hyuk unleashed his special skill on me. Sage's Eye. It's a kind of information that can spy on the opponent. SS-class detection skill. But right at this moment, the system suddenly alerted me. The fourth wall of the exclusive skill triggered. In the next second, a golden light exploded in front of Liu Zhonghe. It blocked the effect of his Sage's Eye. This made Liu Zhonghe look shocked. He's been through 3 regressions. He had never encountered such a situation. So I was recognized as an extremely dangerous character by him. Looking at Liu Zhonghe's eyes full of killing intent, I told him I had the power to see the future. I could help him complete the 46th mission which he couldn't pass. I tried to attract you to be my partner. But after 3 rebirths of his magic, you has become the most dangerous character in the novel. If there's even the slightest element of danger, he would kill it in the cradle. Then he grabbed me, across the bridge of light, just when I thought I could finally survive. Liu Zhonghe suddenly said, since you're a prophet, you should know your future too. Then he lifted me to the edge of the bridge and guess what? Will I throw you off? As the only reader of the novel, I know this guy better than anyone. Then I laughed and said, put me down, you fucking asshole. As expected. In the next second, Liu Zhonghyuk let go of his palm, watching me fall towards the sea dragon's mouth bit by bit. Liu Zhonghyuk laughed coldly and said, I believe you now. You are indeed a prophet. Luckily, I wasn't crushed by the sea dragon's mouth. Instead, I went down the esophagus and into the stomach of the sea dragon. But according to the novel, 2.5 hours after a sea dragon eats its food, it will start to secrete stomach acid. So I had to get out of here as soon as possible. At that moment, the ghost suddenly appeared in front of my eyes. But I was expecting it. The previous mission failed. The consequence is 3 question marks. Obviously, this guy didn't come to overthrow me. As expected. He said to pay 5,100 gold coins. I can spare your life. When I heard that, I rolled my eyes. You've planned this, right? That's all I have left. Then I said, you won't kill me. My performance in this game of Battle Royale attracted a lot of constellations to watch. As the anchor, naturally you'll be able to make a lot of money out of it. Am I right? Lowly Ghost Snot. When I heard that, Snot was shocked. How do you know my name? I whispered that you turn off the live channel. And I'll tell you. In order to know the reason, he quickly turned off the live channel. He was about to speak. I cut him off. How do I know? It doesn't matter. What matters is whether you want to be the king of ghosts or not. Sign a contract with me. I can make you the most powerful anchor in the universe. Snot's eyes lit up at that. But the next moment he suddenly burst out laughing. After all, any ghost would find this ridiculous. A mere mortal would dare to make such a boast to him. And he doesn't belong to the constellations. So he rejected my offer. But I told him. I didn't want his power. But I wanted to sign an exclusive contract with his channel. I want to sign an exclusive contract with his live channel. A live broadcast contract. It was originally a contract between the anchor and the constellations. The constellations can be transformed. They can star in a specific channel to have fun. And the ghost anchors receives a portion of the gold coins earned from the incarnations of the constellations. As a commission. At that moment, Snot said with a scowl, you're a little worm without a heart behind your back. How dare you mention the live contract? Believe it or not, I'll kill you right now. I told him, I don't have a back heart. That's my greatest value. Lord God's horoscope. There's a group of people who bounce around from channel to channel, to have fun and kill time. The other type is looking for avatars to roleplay with. And if you want to be a famous anchor, you have to fit into one of those categories. But if you have an avatar who doesn't have a contract with any sign of the zodiac, but if there's an avatar who doesn't have a contract with any sign, and who can show powers, abilities after hearing what I said, Snot was bluffed by what I said. If that's the case, the effect of this broadcast will be explosive. As expected. By now, the channel had exploded. Countless constellations were clamoring for Snot to go on air. Because at this moment, their curiosity about me has reached its peak. Not only can I confront the returners, I also said that I have the ability to foresee the future. So Snot hurriedly went on air. To curry favor with the main god constellations. Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, it was a server problem. I didn't turn it off on purpose. Seeing this situation, I'll continue to persuade you. How do you do as I say? I'll make sure you're the king of ghosts and goblins. While Snot was weighing the pros and cons, the hidden quest suddenly triggered. Please kill the ichthyosaur and escape. Mission failed. Death. I knew my chance to show my worth had come, so I went to the ghost store. I began to buy the items that would fulfill my mission. I bought 4 spikes and 4 packs of hammered seahorse slime. But Snot didn't think I'd make it out alive. So he left me a good luck message and disappeared. Not long after, the ichthyosaur's stomach started leaking a lot of acid. I didn't dare to waste any more time. I put the mucus of the seahorse on the spikes. Then I stabbed the ichthyosaur's stomach at the mouth of the acid. Soon, for days have passed. By now, the ichthyosaur was already dead. Snot once again came into the stomach of the ichthyosaur. But he was impressed by what he saw. It's amazing. It's an almost impossible task. No one knows how I survived these 4 days. And my performance was rewarded by a number of constellations. I fell to the ground exhausted. I finally survived. That's when Snot looked at the spikes in the stomach lining. And it turns out, I'm immune to the ichthyosaur's stomach acid by using the seahorse's mucus. I see. I used the spikes to block the ichthyosaur's digestive juices. I was able to kill the ichthyosaur. So Snot inserted a small advertisement in the broadcasting room. He finally made up his mind to sign a live contract with me. The contract looks good. But it doesn't specify the distribution of the live broadcast revenue. Seeing that I seemed to see the significance of the contract, Snot was sweating profusely. How about we split the rewards from the live broadcast 50/50? But I don't believe his bullshit. I'm gonna take the lead. I'll pay for it. The commission paid by those horoscopes. That's enough for you to make a lot of money. So reward me with 10 millions. And pay me 5,000 gold coins for signing the contract. Or I'll go to another channel. Upon hearing this, Snot exploded. But after I threatened him, he still agreed. Then I used the excuse of modifying the attribute window. I asked Snot to test my exclusive skill, the fourth wall. Who knows that this skill can even block the interference of ghosts and monsters? Seeing this, I was so excited. No one could see my attribute window. This will make it easier for me to cheat in the future. A few moments later, I entered the area of the second main quest. As soon as I stepped in, poisonous fog hit me. I knew. This game has just begun. This city is heavily polluted. And it's full of ghosts. I have to get to the underground subway station as soon as possible. But before that, I first went to the supermarket to buy a lot of supplies. I scavenged a lot of supplies from the supermarket. And saved a poisoned woman, Zhang Xiuan. It's not that I'm a saint. But I saw her character information. Specialized attribute lurker. This is one of the few attributes. One of the few attributes that can be super evolved. Can be my right hand to get through the game. Then we ran all the way to the nearest subway. We soon arrived at the nearest subway. The nearest subway station and met Li Hyunsong and his men. But before we could say a few words, a group of people surrounded us with weapons. The glasses guy Han Minggu turned into a rebel. They wanted to kick me out. That moment, the leader of the survivors, Chirin Ho, came up. Everyone, come here. This brave new member brought us food. And invited me to join his organization. He said the more you can do, the more you have to do. On the surface, this guy looks like a gentleman. But behind the scenes, he's a real cunt. Moral kidnapping is even more clearly played by him. Naturally, I'm not a philanthropist. I refused outright. But the people around me were incited by him. They all pointed their fingers at me. Are you really going to take all the food? It's not enough for all of us to share. You're just eating it all by yourselves. But I know. These people survived the first mission. With clean hands. That's why I don't want to sympathize with them. Thousand-Man Ho took advantage of this. He put me in a dilemma. If I don't share the food, everyone will think I'm a villain. But I didn't have enough for myself. So he coerced me into joining his organization. Otherwise, it would be difficult to survive here. Naturally, I wouldn't let him get away with it. I said of course I could share the food with everyone. But it takes 50 gold coins to buy a bag of food. At that moment, Jung Suk-won, who I saved, was the first to stand up. He said he wouldn't eat for free. Then he looked at everyone. He risked his life to find the food. You're not like the others. You're not gonna eat for free like the others, are you? It turns out that there are two organizations in this subway station. The one that takes over the food. It's the mainstream organization led by the 1,000. The other is the old, the weak, and the children. The fringe group. For the sake of a small amount of food. They have to go out and scout for food. After his example, they all agreed with him. In less than a day, the food was swept away. But half of the food was purchased by the mainstream organization, the 1,000. And the 1,000 again incited the crowd. If you want food. If they want food, they have to prove their worth. Either you go out as a scout, or they have to buy food for 200 gold coins. That's what Mr. Golden Calf taught me. When he said that, the crowd once again pointed their hatred at me. And then I realized, no wonder the crowd was so naive. It's because this guy, 1,000-man, has the skill of incitement. But no matter how much they try to make a fuss, they won't be able to make waves. Because I've already sold all the food. It's not that I'm stupid. But I know, the second main quest will start soon. And then all the food will be gone. And so it was. A flash of lightning exploded in the subway station. But what came out wasn't Snot. Instead, it's a black guy. Let's call him Black Snot. Then he said to the crowd. The guy who was in charge of this channel has been punished. Now I'm in charge. Then Black BT snapped his fingers. He confiscated everyone's food. Then he continued. That guy let you all live too comfortably before. From now on, it's going to get harder. As soon as the words left his mouth, a new mission appeared in front of all of you. The survival fee program has been added. Everyone must pay 100 gold coins a day for survival. Otherwise, they will be executed. Seeing this situation, the corner of my mouth twitched. This is what this game is really like. In order to survive, we must go out and hunt. And the rebel Han Minggu has been assigned to our hunting team. We decided to explore along the subway tunnels. And the role of the insect boy Li Jiong. Insect boy Li Jiong's role came into play at this moment. Turns out that he's an insect collector. He can communicate with insects to know what's going on around him. Soon Cockroach returned the news. Within 100 paces ahead. It wasn't long before we were safe. Everyone received a new copy of the quest to get food. Hunt down a monster that can be used as food. And cook it. Reward 500 gold coins. At the same time, in front of the tunnel there were monster corpses all over the place. I looked at these corpses and thought. I didn't realize that the game had just begun. That guy can already deal with these level 9 monsters. Grillolaptor, we used the bones of these monsters. We used the bones of these monsters to make a few improvised weapons. Then I asked everyone to leave only part of the survival fee. The rest of the gold was spent on improving our physical fitness. The next step was to start the real hunt. Seeing Li Hyunsong leading the way, he gave the mole cricket a run for its money. And Yung Suk-won is not far behind. With a single bone he knocked over the mayflies. Everyone is fighting for their own survival. They're all waving their weapons. But this hunting operation seems to be easier than I thought. In no time at all, these monsters were all killed by us. While we were discussing how to cook these mayflies, a mole cricket suddenly rushed out from the darkness. It grabbed Han Minggu and carried him deeper into the tunnel. Seeing this, Lu Sangha rushed to help. But the mole cricket took her with it. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared into the darkness. After that, we decided that Li Hyunsung and Yung Suk-won would meet them at the same place. Li Gil-young and I went into the cave to look for them. With Li Gil-young's multi-communication skills, we were able to navigate through the darkness of the cave. We were able to get through the cave without any obstacles. At that moment Li Jiong asked me, brother, you let that mole cricket go on purpose, didn't you? I didn't hide it. That I did do it on purpose. The reason why I did it. Because mole crickets have a habit of hoarding treasures. But this place, I can only find it by following it through the tunnels. And I'm only after the items inside. So you're disappointed? But Li Gil-young held my hand tightly. I believe you're not that kind of person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have saved me on the subway. Then he whispered, are you a god? Or are you the main character? Li Jiong's words shocked me. I didn't realize he was so much more perceptive than I thought. When I didn't say anything, Li Jiong didn't ask any more questions. He continued to lead the way silently. Before long, we arrived at the burrow of the mayflies. A group of mole crickets lay prostrate on both sides of the box. They seemed to be guarding something. At that moment, on the other side of the cave, Lu Shangya and Antibone are arguing with each other. It turns out that the Antibone doesn't want to drive his luxury car with tens of millions of dollars. He had to steal Lu Sangha's bicycle to take the subway. Now the reality is like this. He blamed her for not giving him a chance to pursue him. When I heard this, I couldn't listen any longer. I pulled out a splinter and threw it at him. The next moment, the spike hit the rock on top of his head. It's not that I missed. I was trying to draw out the boss in this copy. I saw countless cracks appear on the stone wall. In the next second, a necromancer in a cloak came out of the wall. At the same time, we all received a new quest reminder. The duplicate quest has been updated. Exorcise the Dark Guardian. Seeing this, I hurriedly rescued Lu Shangya and his team, and told them to quickly pull away from each other. Demons are a very special kind of monsters, and their strength is far greater than other monsters of the same level. If there is no other choice, I definitely don't want to fight with him. I didn't wait to think about it. The Dark Guardian was the first to attack. I could only hear. He was mumbling something. The next moment, a strong sense of fear instantly swept through my body. And my unique skill, the fourth wall, was triggered at the same time. Most of the terror was cancelled out. When the Dark Guardian saw that I was able to resist his skill, he was so excited. He was chirping at me. At that moment, Lu Shangya's translation skill was triggered. She said to me, he's calling for your mom. The Dark Guardian also pointed at the rebel and asked him to be his father. Hearing this, I rolled my eyes. Don't be so perverted, ah. But I didn't wait to think about it. A tentacle suddenly shot out from behind the Dark Guardian, instantly plunged into Antibone's throat, and made a nucleic acid for him. Turns out that he wants to put his offspring inside another species. When I saw that, I rushed forward and slashed. I cut off the tentacles. In pain, the Dark Guardian instantly went into a violent state. He swung 7 or 8 tentacles at me like a madman. And my weapon was reduced to pieces by his attacks. I could only keep dodging. This was a fight I had no chance of winning. But luckily I had a plan. I shouted to the sky for the ghosts. Are you watching? Come out of there. Black Snot was shocked. How did you know I was watching? I didn't say anything. I told him to give me Snot's package. But this guy said that's Snot's business. It's none of his business. When he said that, this immediately drew the ire of the constellations in the audience. Since you're taking over Snot's job, you have to be responsible for it. Seeing the black snot all over the screen, I was so scared that I broke into a cold sweat. I was so scared that I had to get the package to me. This is after I killed Ichthyosaurus and got his core. I traded the snot in the ghost auction. I traded it for a prop. I saw a thunderbolt explode in my palm. A sword called Broken Faith appeared in my hand. The black snot laughed at me. How can he fight with this stupid sword? But what he didn't know was, I also bought a skill from Snot. I purchased a skill called White Diamond Chi. It's an aura that quickly builds up at the point of the broken sword. And the Broken Faith seems to have sensed this magic power. An aura exploded around him. The Blade of Faith is activated. But even though I have such a powerful weapon, I'm still no match for the demon in front of me. In this world of fiction, you can't be a swordsman just because you have a powerful weapon. You can become a swordsman. Besides, I don't have any support from the heart behind me. I'm having a hard time just trying to handle this sword. But in this novel world, I am the only reader. So the reader fights the way the reader fights. I activated bookmark number 2 on behalf of Lee Hyun-sung. I can use his exclusive skill weapon. Exercise for 1 minute. With that, I charged at the Dark Guardian again with a single arrow step. With the skill boost. With every swing I made, Divine Soldier Guardian would be cut off by one of my tentacles. And my last blow almost cut him across the waist. This made all the constellations watching the live stream stare in disbelief. At the beginning of the mission, I was able to beat the boss half to death. So they all rewarded me with 100 gold coins. And Black Snot was even more stunned by this scene. Snot, where did this guy get such a powerful kid from? At this point, I told Black BT to give out the rewards for the mission. Don't be a pussy. Black BT was curious. Aren't you going to kill the Guardian? This guy is worth at least 7,000 gold coins. But I said I never kill anything. It's not that I'm stupid. But I know, all the demons in this world belong to the demon god's henchmen. Once you kill him, he will be hunted. They will hunt you down endlessly. But at that moment, the anti-bone boy raised his bone knife and stabbed the Guardian on the ground. Then he raised his voice to the sky and shouted, "Golden bamboo. You fool. You didn't expect it, did you? Now I can be strong too." Just when he was proud of himself for being so smart, a voice resounded through the sky. The Dark Guardian was killed. A demon of rage and desire. Sensing the presence of the murderer, Han Myung-moo will be hunted by the demon god for eternity. At the same time, he will receive a terrible curse from the demon god. The curse will make one of the killer's greatest fears. The curse will make one of the killer's greatest fears come true. Upon hearing that, Lee Gil-young gave me a look of admiration. Brother is really great. Then we came to the treasure chest. Inside were 3 items. A bracelet that can restore magic power, an old iron shield, and a magical stove that can cook food. With these items, we've successfully completed our quest. However, the real treasure here is this chest. As long as you put in the low-grade items, high-grade items will surely appear. As I put my Broken Faith into the chest, the next second a purple light exploded from the chest, and the original broken sword was restored to its original state. Unbreakable Faith is a star-rated item. It can increase the user's physical ability and strength by 2 levels. With this sword, it will be much easier to kill monsters. Then we were ready to get up and go back to the shelter. But Lee Ji-young told us, there are no more insects around. In this cave where we can't see a thing. Without insects, we'll get lost. Without insects, it's not only easy to get lost but also to be attacked by some monsters. While we were discussing what to do, Lee Ji-young suddenly closed his eyes tightly. He mumbled something. At the same time, on the ground, a large praying mantis, as if summoned, came towards the cave. Looking at the cave, the ground shook. I knew he was summoning the king species. Of the king species on the ground. So I hastened to stop him. Now is not the time to use it. Otherwise we'll all be buried here alive. What's next? We just have to wait until there are small insects around. Then we'll go again. At this moment, Yusanga walked up and said I can take us back. It turns out that he has the skill of finding the way with a ball of thread. He can connect the distance between the starting point and the end point through this. With his help, we quickly returned to the railroad tracks. At this time, in front of the crowd suddenly exploded a golden light. Hello, did you miss me? After this guy finished his trip to the dark room, he came back to check his channel. Soon we were back on the platform. I gave my shield to Lee Hyun-sung, so that the meat shield of our team, the defense of our team can go up a notch. And my action. Lee Hyun-sung showed a vague loyalty to me. Lee Hyun-sung's implicit loyalty to me. At this point, the time to pay the survival fee. It was less than 20 minutes. Many people were starting to get restless because they didn't have enough gold. They were getting restless. At that moment, Chirinho walked into the crowd. He unleashed his agitation skill again. Mr. Gold Reader. He's the one who has the most gold coins. Aren't you going to help us? His simple words. I've become a target again. Countless people are frantically asking me for gold coins. If I refuse, it means they can only wait for death. But even though these people begged me so hard, I had no mercy at all. Since the end of the first main quest, it's been a sin for these people to live. Sanjungo laughed out loud. I knew I would refuse without mercy. Then he continued to stir up the crowd. When you first appeared, you traded food for gold. If you hadn't done that, there would have been a lot less deaths. After that, his men swarmed over me. Some of them even took up their weapons and were ready to use force. But the next moment his arm flew out. The crowd was instantly deterred by this scene. I questioned them coldly. Did I really cause this situation? You're just afraid of Chirinho. Because they have more power. They have more gold coins. That's why you're all trembling here. Chijinho is smiling hypocritically. He tried to stir up the crowd again. But the crowd is curious. Why does he have so many gold coins? I reminded them. There were 87 people at the beginning of the Golden Lake Station. Now there are only 50 left. The crowd still thought the missing people were killed by monsters. I mocked them. I mocked them for believing such a ridiculous lie. Think about it with your stupid mind. How come not a single one of Sanjungo's men is dead? There are more and more gold coins. They're getting stronger and stronger. The answer is simple. That's because the gold coins they carry. They all got them from killing people. Everyone is starting to waver. Chirinho wanted to explain. Iti suddenly reminded. There are 7 minutes left to pay the survival fee. At that sound, the crowd approached Chirinho with their weapons. Seeing this situation, I yelled at them, if you have any self-respect, you should fight with your hands. Because this world, we need to fight to the death. At that, the people couldn't hold back any longer. They grabbed their weapons. They attacked Chirinho and his men. The scene became extremely chaotic. In order to survive, they were all fighting each other. I killed a few of Kianinho's men with my sword. Young Suk-won on the other side. Young Suk-won stabbed a little Karami in the throat. I told you I'd kill you. At the same time, the system alerted. Young Hee-won's attribute has been transformed into the Judge of Evil. I was shocked. I didn't expect him to evolve into the strongest of the 3 judges. The strongest Judge of Evil. Young Hee-won told me to step back. He wanted to deal with these guys himself. He closed his eyes. He unleashed his judge skill. In the next second, the shadow of a scale appears around him. The moment of judgment is activated. The little Karamis around him. He instantly cleared them in a matter of seconds. By the time Chirinho regained his senses, Zhang Xiuan had already appeared in front of him with a bone sword in his hand. He didn't wait for him to say a few words. He cut through his head with one blow. With the death of Chirinho, the system also started to count the survival costs. I stepped forward and pulled up Young Hee-won, who was in a state of exhaustion. This is how the world works. We're just trying to survive. Every day for the rest of the year, 100 gold coins will be collected as a survival fee, until the second main quest is completed. The next day we're going to leave this place. Young Hee-won asked the remaining people if they want to come with us. After last night's experience, they have also gained their own growth. They refused Young Hee-won's offer. Seeing this situation, we didn't ask them to come with us. We set off for the next stop. We hadn't even taken a few steps. I suddenly received 1,500 gold coins from Young Suk-won. He smiled and said that he killed too many people last night. So each of us got some. Now I have 20,000 gold coins on me. I spent 4,400 gold coins on improving my physical fitness. At that moment, the group received a second quest to travel through the tunnels. Meet the survivors from the first stronghold. The reward is 500 gold coins. After a short while, various monsters came down from the fight. Everyone was exhausted. I told everyone to rest for a while. I went to the ground. According to the information in the original novel, I knew that there was an important treasure hidden somewhere here. Soon I came to a stone statue. I made a dash towards the statue. Then I slashed it to pieces. All the statues in this world are sealed with the power of the constellations. Or, props can be obtained by removing the seal. And smashing the statue is the fastest way to break it. A few moments later, I returned to the subway station. I handed out the props to a few people. Nowadays we all have a prop of our own. Nowadays we all have one of our own. For the next mission, we have a lot of chances to win. Then we continued on our way to the next stop. But at that moment, the system suddenly alerted us to a new quest. Mirage Prison is open.